We do want to welcome everyone to today's webinar session on the Brocato Beautiful Business Network. Today's webinar is focused specifically on the business side of Supersilk. A couple of weeks ago, we had a webinar that talked about the technique and the procedural information involved with Supersilk. And today our focus is going to be growing the business of Supersilk and using it as a tool in your salon for revenue, as well as for creating client loyalty and helping them improve their business. Notice on the screen right now, you can see that we do have a procedural video for Supersilk. It's called Brocato How To, Supersilk Plus, and Supersilk Express. And that is available on YouTube if you're looking for technical information, looking for something to help you understand the procedure and what we have going on and what we're doing. So that everyone is on the same page, we want to just give a quick introduction to the products that we're going to talk about and what we're going to be addressing. The Supersilk system is Brocato's high technology new smoothing system. We've been using Supersilk for about 16 months now, and it consists of two different professional products. The first on the left is Supersilk Detoxify Shampoo, and then Supersilk Plus Amino Acid Solution in the trigger spray bottle, followed by Pure Indulgence Shampoo and Pure Indulgence Conditioner, Pure Indulgence Leave-In Treatment, and 8X Leave-In Treatment Spray. The last four products are all retail products, and we also use two of them as part of the service. Notice, those of you that may not have seen this before, notice that Supersilk Pure Indulgence Shampoo is in a 10-ounce bottle. We've just recently converted to a 10-ounce, and it's flowing out to distributors now, so you should see it in your salons. The price has not changed, but it does help us do away with the confusion between the Supersilk Shampoo and Supersilk Conditioner, and it gives you a little bit more value for your money. So their shampoo is now available in 10 ounce. All right, I want to introduce our Supersilk panel to us. Today we've been joined by Jesse Skitrell from Washington State, Michelle Ballell from Alberta, Canada, Jeremy Shifley from Wisconsin, Chris Lutz from Wisconsin, Tiffany Daniels from Michigan, Amanda Carey from Virginia, and Liz White from Virginia. So I want to thank them for taking the time to be with us today and to share their experiences with Supersilk. Because I can't we don't see each other, we're just talking to each other. Feel free to jump in when you have a comment to make, or raise your hand, and I'll bring things under control if I can, and make sure that you have time to share your thoughts. We really want to be able to share the ideas and thoughts of stylists that are using Supersilk in the salon every day and what their experiences have been. So to start out with, I want to lay a bit of a foundation for the conversation. The first thing is, as a reminder, I really need everybody to understand that Supersilk can benefit a large portion of our clientele. Supersilk is not only limited to people who have over curly hair or frizzy hair. There's a lot of other opportunities for Supersilk, as well as we need to, as salons, we need to open our minds up and not limit the opportunities in front of us. So I've asked the members of the panel if they've got any thoughts on who the obvious clients are, and also who the less obvious clients are. Does anybody have any experiences with Supersilk in your salon that have been really successful on a less obvious client? I know Jesse has. Some of the obvious clients we see are people that have frizz and people that have super curly hair. But a less obvious client is somebody who just might need their hair to be a little bit easier to control, or somebody who's spending a lot of time doing services and a lot of time styling their hair, spending too much time in the morning taking care of their hair. Those are all prime people that could benefit from Supersilk as a service.
The safety of it.
Totally.
A lot of people want to know, because of the new technology, they want to know, oh, this is, harmless to me. It's harmless to my, clients. So people really like to know that, people are creating technology that's really safe for everyone involved.
Is there a show and tell factor? Do you have people that you're able to say, well, look at this stylist, she has it in her hair, this is the difference? Do you show before and afters?
Oh yeah.
One of the things that I know is becoming a bigger and bigger deal is using Pinterest as your gallery, if you will, to show before and afters. And I think if you take photos of real hair that's really going on in your salon that they've really seen, we had a number of photos on the Supersilk Facebook page that I think all of you have participated in sending us photos and seeing the difference that Supersilk has made. Um,
One of the one of the things I was going to say, Gary, with the show and tell that worked really well in our salon is we have little screens, for a lack of better word, on each station, and they play small snippets of video. And if you take a head of massively tangled hair and you spray it with a little bit of Super Silk and let it sit, you can immediately comb through it. And just having that video playing over and over, it's surprising how many clients will ask you about what that is. I mean, you can watch it just take that hair and melt it into butter.
okay.
I found that the marketing material that we get with our intros, I just set like the 8X poster right on my station beside my 8X, and I spray it, and they're reading it as I'm spraying it in their hair, and then they just want it after that.
Okay. What do you include in a successful consultation? What things do you make sure that you say or teach your staff to say?
Reduce curl. Reduce curl, not
Okay.
relax curl. I mean, they can't say the word relax. If you say relax, you're done.
Okay. Who leads the discussion? Is it led by the stylist or is it based on the guest asking questions?
Well, it should always be led by the stylist. I mean, that
Yeah.
should be the biggest thing. But, you know, I think sometimes we all get complacent with longtime clients, and, you know, sometimes we have to retrain ourselves to create that dialogue again. You know, they sit down and you do their usual. Well, sometimes you have to think about what you're doing and start recreating the discussion as well.
Okay. What about, have any of you used the Super Silk smoothing microsite? It's designed for consumers. Have you showed that to clients?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think that if you've got iPads available or even a computer somewhere in the salon, we've created a supersilksmoothing.com website that's a great brochure, if you will, online for them to see before and after photos, before and after videos. There's a top 10 list of the top 10 reasons to get Super Silk, but it's designed and focused on the client in the salon, on the guest that's there. And if you're looking for dialogue, if you're looking for catchphrases or words to use, the Super Silk smoothing microsite is a great place to go to pick up some of those ideas and to improve things in your dialogue. That's great. Any other comments about touching the client as an intro?
With our consultations, we usually find out, we get them to fill out a form, and then we find out what they want to improve or hate about their hair. Usually it's dull, frizzy, dry, tangled, causes breakage, out of control curl, takes forever to style. And then I say, well, I'd like to introduce you to, and then Super Silk. And I say, well, the name pretty much says it all. It'll make your hair super silky and will solve whatever issues they have. Or I'll say, have you heard about Super Silk yet? And they're like, no, I haven't heard about it yet. What is that? Well, do tell.
Okay, and get the ball rolling. As a reminder, Super Silk we use Super Silk for two services. The Super Silk solution, the trigger bottle that we showed on the slide at the beginning, is used for a full service solution that lasts up to 12 weeks. It takes an hour and a half to 3 hours for the service. The service price is $175 or more, and the cost per application to the salon is $20. The express service lasts up to 3 weeks. It's designed to be added to a haircut with no additional time. The service price is $35 and up, and it can be added to a haircut price. The cost per application is $2. It's important that you have in your mind both of these services and the differences between the services, and we're going to talk about them separately. So let's start with Super Silk Express dialogue. What do you say to connect a guest with the idea of Super Silk Express? What are the hot points?
Quick.
Okay, good, fast. Doesn't take any more time for them.
No extra commitment.
Okay.
That's always a big one.
So they're not committing extra time. They're not really committing a huge amount of money. What questions do the clients have about Super Silk Express? As you talk about the options and what will happen, what questions do they ask?
How long does it last? That's usually the biggest question is, can I really fake this into a full one?
Okay. And just as an answer to that, Jess, our official dialogue is 2 to 3 weeks.
Correct.
So You may find other experiences in the salon and find other time frames. But we say 2 to 3 weeks. That's assuming they shampoo their hair somewhere between 2 and 4 times a week. So some people prefer to talk about the number of shampoos. So maybe we say 5 to 7 shampoos would be about the same length. Anything else they ask?
I
Yeah,
think
the upkeep on, what can I do to it, what can't I do to it,
Okay.
how often can I shampoo my hair? So a lot of people want to know do I have to use these products? Those kind of questions come up.
Sure. People especially people that have had any kind of a smoothing or straightening system in the past, there's a concern about what the rules are, because there's some definite rules with
I think those
formaldehyde-based
people
systems.
really like. I think those people really like that it's the spray on, and that's what makes it so quick.
Okay. Wow, we've got a
Oh.
drama going on somewhere.
Sorry.
For
Hey,
for
Gary.
most, yeah.
I was going to say, one of the things that we started doing in the salon is we gave our team carte blanche to do no more than 3 squirts on their hand during a haircut and just work it over the ends. They're not really working it all the way through, and they see the instant detangle and the fluidity. They're not really doing a full Super Silk Express, and just as a sampling to the guests, and that just sparks that conversation and dialogue and forces it, kind of.
Okay. So they're even doing a test before a sample before the sample, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Is Super Silk Express usually their first experience with smoothing, or have they had other smoothing services?
For a lot of mine, it's their first because they've been very hesitant because most of the time the only smoothing they've ever heard of is relaxing, which is a pretty big commitment and a whole lot of damage. So a lot of them have been trying to do it with regular product. So this
Okay.
makes a nice transition into something more
So
substantial.
this is a step beyond using styling products or shampoos
Right.
to get to that result. Okay, that's good to know. Anybody else? Are they
Well,
experienced
I've
smoothers?
yeah, I've had a few clients that have had other systems done before and stopped getting them when they were first hot rage, and they stopped getting them because they couldn't get any movement through their hair. They couldn't get what you get out of the Super Silk, which is the body, and which essentially is your hair. Even though it feels amazingly different, you still have your hair. It still has its characteristics to it. It's just easier to maintain and deal with. And I've had someone get a Super Silk, go back to their previous person and get it again, and then contact me like, I can't wait for this to wear off.
Oh, that's awesome. So they're keeping, and
A
I
lot
like
of
that. I like that, Tiffany. I like the idea of keeping their hair, just improving their texture.
a lot of my
Yeah, 'cause
clients
you
were
don't.
coming from a lot of my clients were coming from the
I've noticed
Curl
for
Interrupted.
myself.
Okay, rewind. Tiffany first, and then we'll listen to the next one. Tiff?
Well, I'm a Super Silk wearer myself, and I'm a firm believer in at least using the products. I've used them on even the styling products on men, just to to have that curly hair or that hair that they like to sleek back. It's just that one thing that they always notice. Oh, I just was so easy for me to get up in the morning and go. Because most times when people get a system that changes anything, it completely changes your hair 100%. With this, you still have your hair, you just have better hair.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Somebody else had a comment?
A lot of my clients were coming from the Curl Interrupted treatments, and now I just say that this is the new and improved. It's a little bit different. It's quicker. The results are a little bit not healthier for the hair, but the shine and the combability and the ingredient is so much different than what has ever been on the market before. And again, back to the quick spray on thing, and no smoke when you're flat ironing it.
Okay,
That's a big one, or smell.
those are good pluses. Do we have people that are repeating the express service, or do they move to the full service?
We found 75% of the time they upgrade to the full service. There is
Okay.
that small handful that appreciate an express. And I have one guest that comes every 4 weeks, gets her color done, and gets an express, and it's just now part of her budget. That's just the way she rolls.
The results that she's experienced are identical to a full service at this point, or still softer?
It's still softer, but she has 4 hairs on her head. If you breathe hard, they'll dry. So a traditional full Super Silk on her actually might be a little too much excuse the expression, relaxing on her hair and
Okay.
curl removal. She needs some of the body built back into it. But I wanted to really quickly address that. Is this usually their first experience with smoothing? In our area, it's the exact opposite. Everybody and their brother has done smoothing, and we've done it for several times. So it's not a new idea or a new concept. So we have people coming in with this negative connotation. And what I really, and so they paint Super Silk into that same circle. And what I really have been discussing with them is how traditional keratin treatments enamelize and sit on the surface of the hair or just beneath the cuticle, versus this is actually populating from the inside out, and it's an acid, so it's actually shrinking the cuticle size of the hair rather than actually adding
going
weight
throughout
to
the
the hair.
fiber. Sure. Okay, let's talk about full service now. Is there anything that you can do or say that will almost guarantee the sale? What are the you're absolutely going to get it dialogue? There's one that I know for sure that I'll share, and that is the time factor.
Yeah.
If I can show you how to save 20 minutes to an hour every single day, would you be interested in finding out about this service? Do you find that to be real with your guests?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, big time. Dry time especially.
So drying time and styling time is saved. We have on our website a fun message that was posted at the very beginning with Super Silk about a young woman who had her hair super silked and had so much time in the morning she jumped back in bed with her new husband, and he was happy too.
Oh my.
They had a great time as a result of Super Silk because they saved
I've
time.
noticed that one of my strongest selling points is that they don't have a lot of products to use. With the pure indulgent shampoo and the leave-in treatment, if they choose to go that route, it's just that leave-in treatment. You go on about your day, and I found people really enjoy that because it does take that person who shampoos every other day to maybe every 3 to 4 days of shampooing.
So you're simplifying their life too.
Right.
Are there any techniques to converting? Jesse started on this path. Are there any techniques to converting a current Brazilian smoothing client into Super Silk full service? Jesse talked about working on the inside of the hair rather than the outside of the hair. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, not really. I don't really find that I have a lot of conversion to do anymore. I feel like most people that I encounter, even new clients, the Brazilian thought is kind of, I don't know, I don't find it, it doesn't seem to come up anymore.
Seems to be over.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem real appealing. Okay.
At least in our area it is anyway.
One of the things that I found in our area is the idea that you have flexible hair and that I can retain my curl with the Super Silk, versus with a Brazilian you lose some body to that hair, definitely, and you lose some styling flexibility, like Tiffany was saying.
Okay, are there any common concerns that full service clients have?
Cost.
Okay. Do we address the cost of the full service by having the express option?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think once you have the trial, I think people are afraid to jump in with both feet. Once you have some base to build your idea of what's going on off of, it's definitely not as big of a leap. But when people look at that, that one cost factor and not know if it's going to work for them or not know if it's going to have an impact, it's kind of hard to push that direction without having the initial, get your feet wet.
Right.
Okay. I have a question. We've got a couple of questions that I want to bring up that have come from the people attending. One of them, Tiffany, this question is for you. Did anybody try Super Silk on ethnic hair?
I have.
Anybody else?
Totally.
Yes, totally, and I actually do it on myself.
Okay, Tiffany's African American, so I smiled when I saw the question, Chris. That's awesome. Chris Hoffman posted the question, but we do have people that are very successful using Super Silk on ethnic hair. Tiffany, can you share some of your experiences?
Well, with myself personally, I'm African American and Puerto Rican, and so I have an extremely tight curl. and it's very resistant to a lot of lightweight things. I've had amazing results with it. Now I am able to wash my hair every 3, 4 days as opposed to waiting a week to do it. The amount of time that it takes me to do it is tremendously dropped. And for a lot of African American women, they no longer want to use relaxers and to completely change their hair because they are losing some of their original texture. And I'm noticing just a complete, 100% turnaround on clients getting them over and over again because it has just worked so well. One thing I did notice with performing the services, I do have to use a blow dry pick attachment because the
Uh-huh.
hair is a little too curly or too coarse. It's hard to just get through there with your fingers and you'll be flat ironing it in for hours. So using a little bit of a blow dry pick attachment just to get through it mostly uh, a ton, and it just you start to feel the hair turn into silk as you're straightening it with the Vibra Stray. You just start to feel it immediately, and it is unbelievable.
That's awesome. Good to hear. How often? Let's hear about some feedback in general. What kind of feedback do you get a month later when a client
Can
comes
I do
back
it
to
Well,
the
I hear
again?
salon?
people say, "I just couldn't imagine that this would happen."
Okay,
Well,
so
I
there.
think a lot of people just amazed, all cultures, totally amazed that they can, you know, still have their hair. That's really the biggest thing is that to have their hair, but just not have to put in as much man hours with their hair day after day after day after day. It's that has just been the biggest thing that we're still feeling comfortable having their own hair.
Okay, so we had a comment, a question a second ago about the biggest concern is cost, but a month after they get the service, that concern seems to go away. They're celebrating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I've got another question on African American women. Ashley asks us, if an African American woman gets the super soak treatment, is she still considered natural? Is the in quotations.
Uh,
Tiffany, do you have any thoughts?
Yes. Yes, I firmly believe so because my hair is still able to go back to being curly. It's not a complete as with the relaxer, it doesn't break the bond. So as long as that bond is still intact, that hair is still in a natural state. This is just more of
Is
an easement.
I was gonna say,
It's an
is
easement to your
control the right?
hair as opposed to complete transformation.
Yeah, is control the right word? You're getting control that you didn't have before.
Yeah, I would
Yes.
say it's more control, and it's a little bit more of easement. You do get a easier route to taking care of your hair. It's not something that with relaxers, if you don't do it immediately, your hair
breaks
starts
up.
to shed. You don't feel any of that when you're having this, so your hair is definitely still in a natural state.
Okay, excellent, great response. How often does a client typically repeat a super silk service?
we, I gotta share a quick story on that one, Gary. We had a client call, and she complained that the super silk didn't work in her hair that she had done in November, and her natural texture was fuzzy and so on and so forth. Basically, as we ascertained it, she got so used to having super silk in her hair repetitiously because she had done them so repetitiously that the cycle had gone so long, she started to see her natural texture, and she didn't believe that was her texture anymore. She believed the super silk was her texture.
Hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. How often? How much time expands? Every 2 months? Every 3 months? Every 4 months? Where are we?
3 months.
I would say every 3.
3?
Some people have
Okay.
longer.
Between 8 and 12 weeks, depending on.
And sometimes for us, it's pretty seasonal.
Okay. Oh, Amanda, yeah, down in Virginia where you have the humidity and the summer come, everybody probably goes crazy here in March and April rushing in.
Yes, and definitely. And in fact, they once they've had it and they know over the winter, sometimes they kind of a little bit and get the Super Silk Express. But then a number of my clients, especially with the high amount of humidity here, have already been planning out their appointments to make sure they had it before the months start getting really humid.
Oh, that's perfect. That's great. Okay, we're going to talk about money next. As a
I've noticed
reminder,
on
go ahead, Tiff.
I was going to say with a lot of times with African American clients, it would last a little longer because the hair is not being washed as often. So instead of 12 weeks, I may see 16 weeks on some people, maybe even closer to 20 because it's usually like a weekly shampoo. So it just lasts a little bit longer.
That's true. Yeah, the only thing that would require a redo is the grow-in, is whether they can manage their grow-in or not. Okay. Let's talk about money. The 3-ounce bottle of solution typically will give you 3 full services or 30 express services per bottle. Full services, we suggest a starting price of $175. That generates $525 in revenue per bottle. Express services, we suggest a starting price of $35. That generates $1,000 per bottle. Now let's think about that as how we've laid it out. Let's go back to the panel and find out what actually is going on in the salons. So I want everybody to respond to this. Can you share, what are you charging in your salon for Supersilk Express? Jesse, we'll start and go west to east.
45.
Okay, 45 in addition to a haircut, right?
Correct.
Okay, Jeremy, Supersilk Express?
You fell away.
Chris?
I'm at 45.
You're at 45 too, Jer? Okay, Chris?
35.
Yes.
Chris is 35. Tiffany, do you Supersilk Express?
Yeah, I started 45 and up.
Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Amanda? Supersilk
No.
Express?
We are doing 45 and up as well.
Okay.
Most common 50.
Okay, Michelle, what are you charging for Supersilk Express?
45 to 55.
Okay. Now remember, those prices are in addition to the regular price of a haircut.
Right.
So I didn't ask this, but I'm going to assume haircut prices are somewhere between $40 and $60. Am I guessing correctly for you guys?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. One of the things that I really see Supersilk Express doing is giving you the opportunity of increasing your haircut price without increasing your haircut price, if that makes sense.
Right.
I mean, you can create a prestige haircut or a luxury haircut or a second tier haircut without adding, and it's really difficult depending on the economy and what's going on. It's really difficult to just add to the price of a haircut unless you somehow add value, and Supersilk Express is a great value to add to haircut. Now let's go back and we'll do the same thing across the country with Supersilk full service. Jesse, what is a typical full service Supersilk cost in your salon?
$200.
$200. Okay, Michelle.
We go by ounces. So 1 ounce is 175 to 225.
Okay.
2.5 ounces to 3.5 ounces is 225 to 275.
Okay, so you're charging for longer hair essentially and coarse and
Yeah.
more hair density. That's brilliant. Always make sure the guest pays for the products that are being used. Chris, what are your charge for Supersilk full service?
It's 185 and up.
Okay, Jeremy.
135 to 150.
Interesting. Michelle, or not Michelle, Tiffany.
Started at 125 and up.
Okay, Amanda.
We are starting at 200, depending on the density going up.
Okay, so somewhere the very lowest price I heard was 135. So we're really close to the ballpark when we say that we suggest 175. Have any of you offered promotions to your clients to get involved?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start, Amanda, let's start in the east this time. You said yeah to promotions? What have you and Liz done?
Promotions as far as for first-time clients, we started at 175 and we include the take-home price with them in that price, just so that we know that they're going to get the best results to maintain it as possible, so we can present it correctly.
Okay, so then after that, they would pay the regular price?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
So then after that first time, they'd pay the regular price?
Yes, after that first time, they pay the regular price.
Okay. Anybody else? Promotions that they've offered to clients?
Yes.
Jess?
I also include,
Tiff?
I fix the pricing for the take-home products to be in it. I do adjust the price for that. And if they're just getting a basic trim, I'll throw the trim in for free.
Okay.
So we're running one starting March 1st, and it's Super Silk Express, because I know if they express, they usually move up into the traditional full application. So we're gonna get a full Super Silk at $45, and you get an 8X for free with that. And then each stylist is incentivized with $1 spiff per promotion that they sell. The goal is obviously in 4 to 6 weeks we're going to turn around and have that second conversation, and that's really where we're going to be able to step up into the more expensive service.
Okay. Anybody else?
I haven't done any promotion with it. I have a little display area with all the tent cards and it's nice. And people, when we talk about it, I just walk them right over there. They read it and they want it done. And of course, the questions are, how long will it take for me to have this done? And they see all the features and benefits, or the fabs sitting right on all the marketing that you guys have done. And how long will it last? And then I say, well, you'll prolong it if you take the shampoo, conditioner, and the 8X home, and those are your shampoo and conditioning treatments. So you also need your styling products, which is usually the curl interrupted balm and the actives, and hopefully a hairspray, and then they buy it all. And fortunately for me, I'm the only one in my city of 90,000 doing it, so that's good. And the only other promotion we've done was get a free 8X when you buy the shampoo and conditioner, right when it first came out, and now everybody wants that.
That's awesome. Way to go, Michelle. Gordon just texted me a promotion that he thought of that I thought was amazing. Is if you do a Super Silk Express, charge them for the Super Silk Express, and then if they come in and get a full service within a certain period of time, deduct the cost of the Super Silk Express from their full service.
Ah, that's great.
That sounds like something we're going to want to run with here. We're going to make some signage. Because if they're paying you $40 for their Super Silk Express, and if they come back within 8 weeks to get a full service, it's like a coupon, if you will, that, hey, you tried it, you liked it, and we moved you to the full service. That's a great way to step somebody up, I think. Have any of you used incentives for your staff?
Heck yeah.
Promotions, Jess?
Oh yeah. We usually do the spiff, the dollar spiff. Show me the money, cash in hand speaks a lot. The other one we do is beat your best. So we'll partner up the lowest performer with the highest performer, and then the highest performer's job is to get the lower performer busy.
To help promote them, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Has Super Silk been helpful with your new stylists or your junior stylists as a service that helps get them busy?
Oh yeah, definitely. My senior stylists don't have time to finish it out, so they just hand it off.
And let somebody flat iron it or let somebody apply it. That's great.
Totally.
So it's a great.
I think a great incentive is to do it on your staff, and then they just sell it once all your staff have had it.
Yeah, I truly would love to see every salon I go into have at least 1 or 2 staff members that are wearing Super Silk, so you can use them as visual aids. You need to be able to show the clients the changes and the evolution. I want to talk for a second about Pure Indulgence, our retail system. As I told you a few minutes ago, remember Pure Indulgence shampoo is now available in a 10 ounce coming your way. The shampoo, the conditioner, and the leave-in treatment all contain nanosilk protein that helps strengthen and reinforce the Super Silk service. And of course, we all love 8X as a leave-in treatment spray that protects the hair from outside environmental issues, strengthens the hair, adds structure to the hair, and is a great temporary Super Silk service, if you will. So it gives you a Super Silk type result with a flat iron on an instantaneous or temporary basis. So I heard some of you saying that you're including retail products in the price of the service. That's wonderful. Beyond that, what percentage of Super Silk clients go home with retail? Is it higher than for other services?
I would say yes. I have almost I would say 90% of the people that I use it on buy it. I mean, it's almost one of those things that I've come to now where it's almost just a given
Okay.
Just because of the efficacy of it, it seems so, it's just so noticeable right away that it's one of those things where people are just like, wow, what is this?
That's awesome. Excellent. Anybody else?
We have a little sign at our chemical area that says your insurance policy on your investment today, which was their hair. They need to use the recommended home care regime to prolong their results and make sure that their hair is in the optimum condition for the next time when they come in. And if they don't purchase that, then we probably got to start at plan A next time they come. And they buy it.
That's good to see that as an indicator of whether or not they're believing and applying the things that you're teaching them in the styling chair. And any other comments on pure indulgence? Yeah, it's about education. Any other comments on pure indulgence products?
Yep.
Do they work?
They're amazing.
Yeah, like I stated earlier,
Yes.
They work.
on my male clients, and especially for my male clients who don't want to use a lot of product or something like that, but they really want to kind of control their hair, things like that. I've started to transition it that way, where it is also something that it's a standalone that's just fabulous. But I also have noticed that I have more people taking home products for take care at home maintenance with the Supersilk than any other product ever.
Yes.
That's excellent. And Supersilk leave-in treatment, everybody's kind of figured out that it's a conditioner and a styling product all in one.
Mm-hmm.
And so blowing the hair out and
Yes.
smoothing the hair, styling the hair with leave-in treatment. If I describe it as a weekend product. If you're just going for a casual style and you're not overworking or overstyling the hair, just a little bit of leave-in treatment gives you the control that you need in most cases. So it finishes it out. Well, I really want to thank everybody for their time today and for spending time with us putting the webinar together. Are there any other questions out there within our cast of characters with the people that are listening to us? Type your question. I'll ask the panel and get information from them. Get some more feedback if you've got any other questions. Doesn't look like we've got anybody rushing in. As a reminder, the way to get started with Supersilk is to get a hold of your distributor and start with an intro. The intro contains the detox shampoo, the Supersilk solution, the rinse out conditioner, and leave-in treatment that you need to perform the service. Then you can step in with additional Supersilk solution at buy two, get one free in order to use the rest of the detox shampoo and the conditioners that come in your kit. And with first-time buyers, with those people buying the kit, there is the opportunity to purchase a VibraStraight iron and get involved with VibraStraight as well. Jenny has a question for us. Does Pure Indulgence shampoo have a new scent? We haven't changed the fragrance of Pure Indulgence shampoo. It's the same fragrance that it's always had. It's kind of an oriental lemony fragrance that has been the same all the way across the board. Christine asks, does the consumer want to control their hair or have it smooth? What's the best message that you have? I think I heard control is one of the big words that Chris was using. Is it control, Chris?
Yeah, I think control is more the main key there. Once you start getting into other elements, everybody's texture and density comes into play, but everyone gets control.
Okay.
Amen.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Any other comments?
I think the last thing for my clients that they always hear is to follow the manufacturer's directions with the Supersilk and finish with the VibraStraight iron if they want the best results.
So you have a retailing opportunity with VibraStraight as well.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference. Absolutely. Any other questions or comments anybody has for us? All right. We want to thank you for being with us today and invite you to join us next time on March 10th. Our webinar will be on Quick Lights. Quick Lights is a highlighting and gray coverage service in one step that will really be beneficial and helpful